Hello and welcome to our discussion about an interesting movie titled Annihilation based on our analysis using Ecocritisism. First thing first, how nature is represented in the film. Nature is represented as a specific area called Area X, which boundary the shimmer is expanding and threatening to engulf more and more Earth surface. The shimmer is portrayed to be an alien invasion driven by biological life cycle rather than cliché interplanetary conquest over humans. It is explained in the film that the shimmer refracts DNA and causes everything inside it to mutate. These mutations are depicted beautifully and nightmarish at the same time. Nature in Area X is mutating in an impossible way, and of course, humans fear the unknown. The shimmer is seen as a threat by humans, but in the way that it creates better creations such as different flowers grown from the same stem, alligator with teeth structured like sharks, and even bear with luring voice of human, the shimmer is creating something new by destroying the old law of nature. It is also possible to assume that the shimmer is something very common to happen if it is seen as natural cycle where life evolves. The only unnatural thing that could happen is humans trying to contain or even destroy it. Thus, nature or the shimmer in the film is represented as a new cycle where new life forms will continue to grow no matter how hard humans try to fight against it.
The difference between the representation and the reality, mutant and imitation. The main premise of Annihilation is the phenomenon of beings on Earth being mutated from their known characteristics. The mutated beings are turned into something that are remotely different from their characteristics in the reality, living beings measuring with different species, animals, and plants having human characteristics, etc. The human characteristics that were found in the beings that are supposed to be part of nature are the key on how the nature is represented in the story. The intensifying human traces in the mutated nature. Area X was left desolated after being affected by the shimmer, leaving a place with no human left. The once inhabited place of humans were left in nature's control. It gives humans concerns of how it could not be reached by humans. Any attempts for them to reach out through human expedition was fruitless. Ironically, during the expedition in the movie, it was discovered that the nature ended up imitating human the deeper they went through the area. Area 1 and 2, the wilderness or the scenic sublime. The first time the expedition team entered the area, they entered the places untouched to the culture, forests, lakes, and etc. During the beginning of their discovery in the refracted DNA, most beings they encountered were mutated to be still mixed with creatures of nature. Plants mixed with the plants, animals mixed with the animals. The lesser trace of human characteristics during this stage of their discovery indicates that the place they first encountered was less influenced by humans.
Now we are going to explain on how the background setting of the movie represents two areas in shades of nature, the countryside and the domestic picturesque. As Area X was once a settlement for humans, human traces can be found through the existence of buildings and other cultural products. As the team delved further to the area, more cultural products could be seen, and plants and animals around them started to show some characteristics of humans. This can be seen from the appearance of plants that took a shape of human and the mutated bear that was able to speak using human's voice. As the protagonist went deeper and reached the lighthouse, the imitation of human characteristics became more intense and complete. The being that imitated her showed lesser characteristics of plants and animals, and turned to resemble her even more. In the climax of the movie, the protagonist encountered a creature that tried to copy her appearance and movement, which are signs of their attempt on imitating humans' behavior. These behaviors mirror humans' attachment to nature and their attempts on imitating it. The imitation is shown as something the being naturally did, a form of self-preservation. The self-preservation of the alien being clashed with human self-preservation, causing an issue between the shimmer and people who made contact with it.
The next slide will be presented by me, Rima, Almaidah, Nurcahya. In this slide, we would discuss about the ideology that could be found in the film. And based on our group discussion, we have found several ideologies. The first one is how humans always lean themselves towards nature. The reason why we choose this as one of the ideologies is because the film itself depicted both human and nature actually work together. In fact, human has a tendency where they depend themselves on the nature. This is probably because both human and nature live side by side, and human who tends to gain things from nature itself. The second ideology that is depicted in the film is how nature itself would always have a certain cycle. In this film, the cycle is actually something that perhaps we all already know. A cycle just like the old times where something unknown came to the world, then it tries to adjust itself to the new environment, and as they adjust, it would lead to something new, or in this case, a new nature. Another thing that we found in this film is that there is a tendency of destruction. So we could say that if the nature wants to destruct something, it will destruct that particular thing. However, this destruction would eventually create a new nature that will work together with the current or new nature. In summary, just like the meaning of its title, Annihilation, which means a destruction or elimination, we could see in the film on how either nature and human tend to destruct themselves in order to create something new. That is why, perhaps to bring a new world, the nature would need to destruct the old nature before creating a brand new one. That's the end of our group presentation. Thank you for your attention and have a nice day.